It's Saturday night, we're running late, but it's hockey night in the hangar as the TSI World Berkshire Bees welcome the two-time reigning and defending league champions, the Leeds Knights, to town. It's the first meeting of the year between these two sides. The Bees usually have a good track record against Leeds, as far as good track records go, when you lose every time you meet. The Bees haven't, however, been blown out in any of those games. They'll be hoping to keep that track record going and basically, hopefully, get a win following a win on Sunday in Telford. I'm joined by Chris Beale tonight, and Chris, the champs are here.
Yeah, the champs are in town once again with their very, very, very stacked roster. Yes,
it's one of those things, it's a dearth of riches for the Knights up there and at the top of the table as well. The Bees, obviously, the injury bug starting to hit after last weekend. We'll go through that shortly as we rush through everything tonight. But as you say, the Knights, the top six, it's staggering. You look at the table as well, where the Leeds Knights sit top at the moment on 10 points. That one loss coming last Saturday in Swindon. That's the last one mentioned of it, honestly. And the Bees, obviously, a first win in Telford after the game here on Saturday, losing to the MK Lightning.
Yeah, both teams seeing a reversal of the script last weekend. Bees finally getting that first win of the season, which is going to be, especially with like the short bench as well that they had going into that game, that's going to be a huge confidence booster for them. I know some people may say, yeah, but the Tigers aren't exactly having a good start themselves to the season, but a win is a win. Whereas at the other end of the table, the Knights, they're going to need to find a way to bounce back tonight after that first loss of the season in the NIHL Classico.
And obviously, Chris mentioned short bench for the Bees. The bench gets even shorter. The Bees lineup for tonight is as follows. 2, Adam Rossbottom. 5, Ollie Nags. 9, Vanya Antonov. 13, Marcus Mitchell. 15, Ty Cathcart. 16, Adam Erskine. 19, Will Stead. 21, Marcel Balaz. 23, Dominic Gabai. 24, Dan Rose. 71, Josh Kelly. 74, Liam Morris. 80, welcome new signing Will Birch. 91, Ollie Hemmings-Mayer. 93, Josh Poole. 94, Stuart Mogg. Netminders. 36, Brett Shepherd. 42, Max Wright. No Preston Toombs, no Roman Cathcart. They are in Cardiff with the Streatham Redhawks. Ian Germania-Tirado not required tonight. Same with Kane Russell, and not licensed due to injury, Hallam Wilson and Josh Smith. Chris, three-line hockey for the Bees for last weekend because of availability issues. Now it's injury issues. Ollie Nags back in the lineup. Will Birch signed this morning from the Oxford City Stars. Again, we say it every week at the moment, this team needs to be more than the sum of its parts.
Yeah, they need to dig deep, find that, I mean, it's a bit cliche, but they need to find that character at the heart of the roster that allows you to win games at on three-line hockey. But, like, British hockey for a long time has been three-line hockey at times. I know in the modern era now we're pushing more towards 4 complete lines, but over the years I remember a lot of games where I've seen teams with running three lines come out and find a way to win. It's an uphill task for them against a very, very strong Leeds Knights roster, but it's also going to be all about how the Knights play their own game in this rink, because the Knights, they like to play a little bit of the speed game. They like to play a little bit high up and out wide, looking for those wrist shots, because they've got those players with those amazing shots.
Well,
so. Sorry.
No, that's all right. I was going to say, it was producer Nick Johnson rushed us along.
Sorry.
The Leeds Knights roster tonight: 6, Ethan Hare. 8, Bo Neely. 9, Jordan Blaser. 11, Matt Hayward. 12, Kieran Brown. 14, Lewis Baldwin. 18, Christianis Fugalis. 19, Innes Gallagher. 24, Dylan Hare. 33, Finn Braden. 37, Matt Barron. 41, Ollie Endicott. 44, Jordan Griffin. 54, Noah McMullin. 73, Matt Bissonette. 95, Matt Cowlett. Netminders. 31, Sam Gospel. 32, Harrison Walker. And Chris, you say about three-line hockey, a Leeds Knights team that likes to push the pace, push it out wide. This team plays three-line hockey. They all know their jobs. They all do it very well.
Yep, and that's why they're a 2-time defending league champion. Why they went to the playoff final last year, why they won the playoff the year before. They have those lines that just keep coming at you wave after wave after wave, all doing their jobs, all doing it well, all doing the little things well, all doing the big jobs well. They work as a functioning unit.
As the Bees are led out by Max Wright. The Knights, obviously, well, everyone will look at the 3 lines that the Leeds Knights have. They are not afraid to make mid-season additions. 2 years ago it was Matt Cowlett. Yeah. Last year it was Jordan Blaser. They will, if Ryan Aldridge feels that they need to improve in any way, he will quite happily take it.
Yeah, and that's the thing, to be a championship-winning team and to be, let's call them what they are, a juggernaut of a championship-winning team, you have to be willing to make those changes. You have to be willing to say to the elements that aren't really getting the job done. I'm sorry, but it's just not working out, and we've got something that's going to make us stronger to come in.
We'll be back with you in about 2 minutes following the national anthem.
For the Bees, and Kieran Brown from the Leeds Knights to step forward, please. as we welcome Zachary Hill to ice for tonight's ceremonial puck drop. Thank you very much. If you can, please stand for tonight's national anthem.
Get going in as the Romford Raiders 2, Telford Tigers 3 in the second period. Your officials for this evening in the Water Wings of Power, Mr. Adam Bicknell and Mr. Ryan Thrower, and lines of Mr. Justin Lalonde and Mr. JP Saw. Starting netminders this evening for the Berkshire Bees, it's Max Wright. He comes into tonight having started all 6 games for the Bees so far this season. A 1-4-1 record, 903 save percentage, 3.81 goals against average. Also, he picked up his first professional win last Sunday in Telford. At the other end for the Leeds Knights, it's Sam Gospel. He started 4 games so far for the Knights, posting a 3-1-0 record, an 857 save percentage, 4.01 goals against average. Don't be fooled, most of that damage was done last week in Swindon. He has an 87-18 record since the start of the 2022-2023 season, and 8 shutouts in that time. Both lead the league in those categories. Chris, in terms of netminding, Max Wright has proven that he is a lot better than maybe people give him credit for. He's gotten a bit of a stick for basically just being an import in this league. Sam Gospel, in terms of Brit netminders, however, is, well, he is the undoubted #1 in the league.
I mean, Sam Gospel is an import quality netminder at this level, I feel. I find it criminal. And I know many other commentators in the UK hockey scene find it criminal that Sam isn't on an elite league roster somewhere. But then at the same time, maybe that's just Sam's been approached and he doesn't want to go to that level for whatever personal reason he has. But Wright's obviously going to get a little bit of stick for the fact that he is an import, so there's going to be that expectation that by some I think that he should be posting shutouts immediately every single game. But you've got to remember with goaltenders, it's not just about the goaltender itself, it's about the defence in front of them as well.
As we are underway in period 1, Knights in their row black jerseys winning the opening puck drop. Mac Howlett with it now as he circles in front of Gospel. Howlett over the blue line, tries to go through the Bees' defence, which seems to be stacking up with 2 men low at the moment and 2 high. Try and create a turnover. An interesting first line for the Bees with Josh Paul slotting onto this first line right wing. Knights into the zone. Howlett snaps a shot on goal. Kick saved by Wright. I feel if we talk about the Elite League and import limits, we could be here all night rather than talking about the hockey. Yeah. But no, completely agree. Sam Gospel should have been given a chance a long time ago. But obviously the Elite League's loss is very much the Leeds Knights' gain, as a blown tyre at the back from Bo Neely lets the Bees into the zone. Balaz held in the corner.
You can make the argument with the Leeds Knights roster, there are a lot of players on this roster where it's the Elite League's loss in their game.
Absolutely. Antonov back to the blue line and Mitchell. Loose puck, battle to it. Hemmingsmere comes away with the puck. Around the boards it comes. Balaz, 5-point night on Sunday in Telford. 4 goals on the night. Shot from the blue line from Morris is held by Gospel. Marcel Balaz, obviously, 5-point night on night last Sunday. Takes him up to 10 for the season. 180 points in the National League. You'd have thought after last year maybe teams would have learnt to not give him so much free space in front of the net.
Yes, but you know, sometimes people just do it. Sometimes in hockey people don't learn from their mistakes and it comes back to bite them.
And Marcel, Balaz 58 goals in 60 games for the Bees. Knights the other way. Gallagher carries it over the blue line. Hit on Kelly in the corner. This is what we talk about this Leeds Knights third line. Gallagher, Endicott and Braden. All very capable players. Endicott collects the puck. Shot from the blue line, tip in front from Braden, saved by Wright. Gallagher kicked away by Kelly, almost into danger. Endicott behind the goal. Finds Braden, back high. Shot comes off the back of Endicott and flies into the corner. Rossbottom, first to loose puck. Can't get it away from Gallagher. Knocked away by Kelly to Cathcart.
Kelly was looking for a hooking call there.
Bees finally able to bring it over the blue line away thanks to Rose. He will chip as these change.
So we're talking about there, like the Knights' third line. Typically, your third and your fourth lines you look to as more of your grinder lines, your line that plays more defensive hockey than offensive hockey. But they looked very capable there, very offensive, very look like they could actually score, and they have wrapped up goals this year. Endicott's scored several this year already.
Yeah, they're a very aggressive forechecking team, the Knights. Obviously, something that is well received up in Yorkshire. Is that one his foot down low? Mog up the half boards.
On a tight right rink like this, an aggressive forecheck is definitely going to be something that gives you a one-up.
Knights with it. Finds a wide open Matt Howlett on this near side wall. Howlett, that one comes off the side of the post. It was just thrown in looking for McMullen. It found its way and almost snuck in the goal. Stretch past Howlett is stopped in its tracks by Morris. Pass across from Balaz. Chipped in by Paul and he'll go to the bench. Push into the corner by Gospel. Josh Paul, I should say, obviously got his first senior goal last week in Oxford for the Cardiff Canucks. So congratulations to him on that one.
I think I saw that one on social media. It looked a very nice goal. Very well taken. Very good shot.
Face off right of Gospel. Knights come away with it. Break out past the Blazer, it's batted away by Mitchell. Chip back to the blue line. Balaz is able to pick the pocket of the Knights defense. Balaz in on goal, forces the shot. Saved by Gospel, Knights the other way. Will stop and go at the blue line. That will, well, it's been given as offside. I feel that's quite generous. Bissonette stopped up inside the blue line, definitely didn't go back out.
I think if Balaz just had a little bit, like maybe a stride more or two, he might have been able to get that round Gospel, or maybe if he was able to shovel it clear to Antonov, we might be looking at 1-0 there. But we're, just like the game against MK last weekend, we're seeing a very solid start here from the Bees. I don't know whether it's because the Knights are just getting themselves dialed into a style of play for this rink, but I'm liking what I'm seeing so far from the Bees in the opening phase.
Let's hope, unlike the MK game last week, we don't have to mention the R word.
But it is a question right now of keeping this level of compete up, and when you have a short bench like the Bees do, that can become a problem.
Back in the corner, it's finally chipped away. Rossbottom, first to it. Rossbottom down on a third unit with Dan Rose and Adam Erskine tonight, so the Bees changing the lines up. Morris chips that up the wall to Erskine. Cleared out the zone. Chipped ahead to Matt Hayward. He goes back as they go. The Knights go for a change.
I just realised potentially as he is playing tonight, I might be the only Streatham fan to actually see Adam Erskine play this season.
Rossbottom gets dispossessed as he tries to circle into between the hash marks. Cathcart played at the wall. That comes off of a glove on the Knights bench. Face-off will be inside. As I can see over the shoulder of Annika, Swindon Wildcats 0, Sheffield Steel Dogs 1. Not going in at the link centre. Endicott tries to chip it up the boards, kept in by the Bees, thrown on goal. No one in a yellow shirt, and the Knights will break the other way. Endicott fans on that pass. Kelly can't clear it. Shot from Dylan Hare is sticks aside by Wright. Paul beats Braden to the park. That is helped out the zone. Stead and Endicott have it coming together. Endicott just sort of carries his man into the zone. That will cause the offside. Nothing malicious in it. Obviously, Ollie Endicott on a two-way with the Nottingham Panthers. Made his Panthers debut in the week away at Glasgow.
Are we sure that was Nottingham Panthers? Because as I saw from social media, it might have been the Nottingham Lions.
Yes, the local paper did call them the Nottingham Lions, which is always a good look. Tell me people don't like ice hockey in this country. It's a nice blow into the zone with Howlett.
It's always lovely when the local press don't understand the vagaries of the various levels of British ice hockey.
Brown drops it off there. Ballas takes it away from Barron, but he's able to clear. Hemmings-Mayer will get on the end of it. We'll chip it round Baldwin. Mullen can't get that one away. Hemmings-Mayer with a chance, fired on goal. A couple of deflections. Not sure where that's gone.
I think it's in Gospel's kit somewhere.
I think it or has he gloved it? No one really seems to know where the puck is.
Oh, no, there, it was...
It was in Marcel Ballas' kit, I think. No, Dongabai, sorry, Dongabai's kit. No, it is Ballas. I am right the first time. What is over there at the face-off door?
Out of the two of us, there's only one here who has the excuse of not being able to recognise the Bees players as Mog fires a shot from the point.
I cannot see, I'm legally blind. Knights stopped at the blue line. Howlett trying to lead the rush. He goes back. Knights up the left-hand wall. At speed, tries to fire across. Well, that's off the skates of Barron from Matt Howlett. Dongabai gets dropped by Kieran Brown. Offside called for a minute there. I was worried we were getting a penalty because that was clean as a whistle.
I was worried we were seeing deja vu of last weekend because once again Dongabai the target of a it was a good hit, it was a solid legal hit.
Yep, nothing wrong with that.
No.
6:45 gone in the first.
I mean that's the way you take a player like Dongabai who can move at speed like that out of the game though. You've got to hit him and hit him hard.
Romford 3, Telford 3 at the centre.
That escalated quickly.
Hemmings-Mayer, just a little pick on Fagalis. Loose puck collected by Morris. Spins and fires to Antonov. He will set Hemmings-Mayer away. Tries to get around Neely. Down low, Ballas.
Good here by the Bees. They're taking the hits to make the play, and they're also making the hits to make the play at the moment.
Hemmings-Mayer takes a tumble. Morris throws the hit in there on Matt Hayward. Loose puck. Antonov first to it. Being kept away from danger. Tries to find a rushing Will Birch off the bench. Knights the other way. That pass not to tape. Mitchell will get there first. Takes the hit from Bissonnette. Tipped ahead. Wright will glove that, and he will hold on. His Blazer bears down on him.
And there we have the first silver lining of the season. Plays out. And Joe gives me that look.
Apologies, any and all complaints at 2_4_flinching.
It's all right. I've already started one beef in the South One unofficial Facebook group this evening.
Not again. Hare at the back. Finds Braden. Pass picked off by Rose. Spins away from Griffin. Puck bouncing around. Griffin able to get it under control. Knights are coming the other way. A man short at the moment as the player trails behind the play. Puck to Rossbottom. Gets his pocket pick, but Josh Kelly's there to help him, and he's going to give some good work. Rossbottom again not showing great awareness there. Braden drops it off. Ethan Hare. Back high. Shot from the blue line. Wright sees it through traffic and gloves it. Bees, probably the first mistake of the night, just not showing great awareness at the blue line.
Well, that really allowed the Knights to do one of the things they're really, really good at, really solid at it, which is those counter-attack movements. They're very good at just doing what they've done, soaking up the pressure, waiting for that one mistake or two mistakes as we saw there, and then just punishing you for it.
I said 3-all Romford. It's now 4-3 Romford at home to Telford. Fantastic start by the Raiders so far this year.
I repeat, that escalated quickly.
Bees with it, behind their own net. Stead, round the boards, finds Paul. Chipped ahead. Barron misplays that for a second, gives goodbye a sniff, but is able to get it back under control. Baldwin turns to the safety behind his own goal. Another wayward pass from the Knights. Icing waved off on that one. No, it was called.
Solid. From my vantage point, that didn't make contact on the way through.
Nope. I just heard the linesman shouting and thought he'd waved it off, and I think he has. I think they are going back to centre ice. So yeah, centre ice face-off. I was right the first time round. Nine minutes exactly gone in the first. Not a lot in terms of great quality chances so far, but as a Bees fan, you'd probably take that against the Knights as that comes in from the blue line. Mitchell cleans up, finds Balaz. He'll try and set Hemmings-Mayer away. 2 Knights to beat. Kick towards goal by Antonov, and that will force the offensive zone face-off.
It's been a quantity versus quality thing in this opening phase. The Bees they've had chances, but they've had scarcer chances than the Knights, who have peppered the net with at least 2 or 3 opportunities when they've got down this end, whereas the Bees tend to get one opportunity the other end, and then it's either cycled out, they may get another one, but the Bees' chances have looked a bit more quality than the Knights' ones so far.
That puck turned over in the defensive zone to Hemmings-Mayer. Ballas snaps a shot, great block in front by Fagalis.
Commentator's curse right there.
Hayward. Knights unable to clear once again. Bees player takes a hit. Knights break the other way. 2-on-2. Bissonette winding up. Boisa takes it on a lap behind the goal. Tries to fire the shot through the legs. Antonov with some good defensive stick work there to prevent anything from Bissonette. It then turns over to Hemmings-Mayer, who clears the zone.
It's very well cleared by Hemmings-Mayer as well. Beats the icing call. Gets that bounce off the halfway board.
Attempts a cross-ice pass from Griffin, blocked. Ballas sets Rossbottom into the zone. Flicked into the opposite corner. Boisa will get there first. Tries to draw a penalty, can't on that occasion. Knights clear. Kelly first to it. Takes the hit from Endicott. Rossbottom shows you how not to throw a hit as Gallagher sets the Knights away. Drop pass. Kelly misses that one as he nearly ends up going through the door. Held up against the boards. Rose able to clear and just get it over the blue line. Chipped into the B zone. Right out of his net to play it. Rose comes away with it. Stead up the left-hand side. Thrown towards goal. Takes a block. Bounces back to Will Stead, who just tries to skate through 4 black shirts. That was never going to work, sadly.
Good effort by Stead, but he needs to look for the support, really, in that situation.
Paul blows a tyre. That's the Knights in. McMullen spins away from his man. Down low, Ethan Hare. Turns it over to goodbye. Stead with another go at it. Endicott bearing down. Avoids a Leeds Knights sandwich, but will give Endicott a piece of his mind on the way through. Howlett over the blue line, chipped in, as Knights change. Nags first to it. Big hit from Kieran Brown. Breaks up that pass. Howlett back to the blue line. Shot blocked in front by Will Stead. That one looks like it hurt as he skates back to the bench.
That was a stinger.
Hemmings-Mayer takes it away from Howlett. Not quite too goodbye that time. Chipped ahead. Barron. Mitchell loses his stick. Barron throws it on goal. And the penalty is called eventually on Marcus Mitchell. And the Leeds Knights, the most dangerous power play in the league, you're going to get a first chance within the night. 12:08, time of the penalty. Marcus Mitchell, 2 minutes for hooking. There's the Will Stead block shot.
Based on that angle, I hope that wasn't off a kneecap.
So the Leeds Knights power play, 14 for 30 on the season, a 46.67 success rate. the Bees penalty kills, given up 6 goals on the year, 76% success rate. It's a high stick, catches Barron there on the draw.
And I believe 3 of those were in last weekend's game, weren't they?
Yes, don't remind me. Bouncing puck, Mog rings it around the boards and out the zone. The Knights power play backed up by this line with having Finn Braden, Matt Bissonette, Matt Cowler on it, Kieran Brown. I believe this line does have 12 of those 14 goals so far. Braden has 3 power play goals, Brown has 3, Barron, Bissonette and McMullen on 2. Kelly breaks out that pass, Antonov will lead the breakout the other way. Gets it away from Braden, Vanya Antonov just getting under control. Down low, chance in front, Balaz saved by Gospel, not sure he knew too much about it. Knights the other way, 50 seconds gone on the power play. Bouncing puck, goodbye, can't quite clear as it's kept in the blue line. Barron. Back high. Down low to Bissonette. Not trying to draw a man out of position, shot through traffic, right, sticks that aside away from Barron. Back around it comes Howlett. Back high again, shot saved by Wright. Brown from the blue line with 39 seconds to go.
Look like the Bees there on that PK, like PK so far doing a really good job of maintaining their shape, and they kept that front lane, that lane in front clear there, so that allowed Wright to be able to make that save.
Face off, won by the Bees. Goodbye, turns and fires it off the boards. 30 seconds left on the man advantage. Little stop and go there by now McMullen as he carries it into the zone. Down low to Endicott. Back high again, Blazer. Shot blocked by Nags. He'll beat Hayward to it and launch it at the end of the ice. And with 5 seconds left on it and Gospel leaving it behind the net, we could say that's a very good first penalty kill from the Berkshire Bees.
It's a solid penalty kill from the Bees, but they've got to watch out here on the counter.
As Morris takes that one away from Blazer, sets Hemmings-Mayer away the other way, up the right-hand wall. Drops it off nobody in a yellow shirt. The Knights break the other way. Shot through Morris is saved by Wright. Jordan Blazer firing it just north of the face-off dot, and Wright will hold on with 5.5 minutes to go in the first.
And again, another wayward drop pass leads to one of those Leeds Knights counter-attacks. Right now, if you're Dom Gabai, you've got to be saying to Hemmings-Mayer, and you've got to be saying to Nags, who have been particularly prone to this, they've got to stop making these unforced turnovers.
Rose able to clear that one out of the zone. Gallagher carries it back in for the Knights. Under pressure from Rossbottom. Stickliff there takes the puck away from him. Rose evades the hit from Dylan Hare. Icing waved off as Griffin is back to collect the puck. Stretch pass finds Gallagher. Under pressure from Cathcart. Chipped ahead. And that will find Braden. That's off the side of the post. For the Bees, fortunately, it's the outside of the post. McMullen tries to spin away from Rossbottom. Down low to Gallagher. Rose able to read that pass. Cathcart tries to help. Down low to Ethan Hare. Tries to go back to Gallagher. Evades all the way back into the blue line. Baldwin with the shot fired wide. Second shot comes in, also fired wide again. Third go at it. Tip in front from Barron. Right with the pad. Stops that one. Back high. That pass is wayward to McMullen, and the Bees will be able to get a change in.
That's a very lucky break for the Bees. They were looking like they were going to be trapped in their own end there, but able to get that line change off.
Knights again, Howler up the wall, shot off the shoulder of Wright. And again, another unforced error, as Chris says, back to the blue line. Shot through traffic, that one's off the stick of Wright again. Another unforced error by the Bees, and that puck will go back to Brown instead of Goodbye. Goodbye though with a great forecheck to get the puck back. tries to find Paul. He loses handle on it. Knights the other way.
Just a little bit too much on it there for Paul to kind of really get it settled, but good recovery there.
Paul will chip it off the boards. Give chase on Howlett. Barron spins away from balance. Pushed into the corner, right out of his net to play it. Settles it down for Mitchell. Round the boards, kept in the blue line, shot through traffic, tip in front wide of the net. Hayward, back high. Bobbling puck, finally got under control. Another tip, that comes off of, well, I'm going to say the shoulder of Hayward. And goes over the net that time. Turnover again, Bissonette. Back again, shot, save right, can't control the rebound. Blazer can't get under control. Backhand flip from Balaz, catches Hayward in the mouth. I should say that was the puck that caught Hayward and not Balaz's stick.
Yeah, I think it definitely looked like the puck.
No arguments had there.
Yeah.
Marcel apologises. Yeah. Matt Hayward, we should say, tonight, game 980 in British hockey tonight. Closing in on 1,000. That's as far as elite prospects will tell me, and obviously that does include his time in the Elite League and his run with Sheffield. Which 1,000 is a stupidly big number.
I don't think of any other players who are even close to you.
Not active ones I can think of.
Yeah.
I think Joe Baird did 1,000.
There is a
Neil Lydiard obviously must be one as well. Neil Lydiard, who was closer to 1 million, I believe.
Neil Lydiard, who retires and then comes back every off-season.
Loose stick, Knights chip it in. Wright will cover up.
Interesting. There is a loose stick.
Yes, but no, I didn't see anyone go to the bench for one. It's a broken one.
It was.
Who wants their broken twig?
I can only assume that happened off the face-off.
Yes.
So I feel like otherwise there would have been rather aggrieved calls for a slashing penalty there.
Face off in the B zone once again. Back to the blue line. Down low to Gallagher. Endicott breaks away from the front of the net to help the puck on its way. Cathcart gets there ahead of Hare. Chip clear, bouncing puck falls nicely to Goodbye. He'll carry it into the zone, try and get past Griffin. Dongabai to the front of the net. Dongabai the chance. Big save, Gospel. Appreciated by both sets of fans. As the Knights break in the other way, there's a chance for Ollie Endicott. Loses the handle just at the final moment. Can't get the shot away. Kelly evades the onrushing Matt Howlett.
End-to-end rushes in stereo with both netminders coming up with big stops.
Howlett dispossessed by Kelly. Pass across for Paul to was aimed in the direction of Dongabai, but he was skating to the bench. Held up against the near side wall. 90 seconds remaining in the first period. All the way out to this far side. Brown tries to get through Mogg, who is at the end of a very long shift, it must be said. Mullin throwing over to this left-hand side as the Knights sense maybe a little bit of tiredness in the legs on this right-hand side for the Bees. McMullen under pressure from Hemmings-Mayer. Brown. Hemmings-Mayer throws McMullen into the boards. He's down. They're calling for a whistle. I must admit, I think the Knights have scored.
Yes,
we were too busy because the whistle went as Liam Morris was pointing out that the Knights had a play down, and there's been a goal. 19-11, the Knights have scored, and we're great commentators.
Yeah, this is an interesting scenario. A goal has gone in, but the commentators don't know how it was scored, what it looked like.
If only we had producer Nick.
We do have producer Nick.
But looks was also caught off guard.
We have producer Nick at home.
Well, we'll get you that goal in a second.
Yeah.
As obviously there's...
And then we'll be able to describe
There's still... 19-11 is the time of the goal. I must admit, we were both looking at Liam Morris frantically pointing out the man down in just next to the face-off dot.
I mean, that was why I thought the whistle had gone. I thought the
Me
whistle had
too.
gone for...
So the Knights lead. And Mac Howlett gets the goal. Well, it's Mac Howlett from Kieran Brown for the goal. Mac Howlett gets his 4th of the year, and more importantly, that assist for Kieran Brown is his 400th point for the Leeds Knights alone. And as I put on my notes before the game, human cheat code.
Yeah, human cheat code at this level of hockey, but he's amazing to watch.
Absolutely. Bees with it down low. Goodbye. 30 seconds left in the period. Into the danger area. The Knights able to clear. Haywood. Chipped ahead. Bissonette takes it away from Morris. Bissonette bearing down on goal. That's off the blocker of right. Morris got his stick on the end of it, and that's broken. Pass from Ansonov is wayward. 8 seconds left on the clock. Knights into the zone once again. Puck falls nicely in front to Buesa, right with the glove save. Morris's broken stick does the Lord's work in front of goal. And we get to the end of the first period with the Berkshire Bees 0, Leeds Knights 1. And we throw over to producer Nick.
Okay, so we can read your comms now.
We'll try and make it look like we did it live. Here we go.
So the puck's in the corner.
Brought out Howlett, just fires it off the inside of the post and in.
And you can also just see on the top corner of the replay as well, you could see McMullen just crawling along the ice. Obviously, that's where our focus.
Yeah, we were looking at McMullen, and Howlett rips one home. Chris, at the end of the first period, the Knights a 1-0 lead. A lot of offensive zone time, a lot of pressure for the Knights. The Bees won't feel too disheartened by that first period performance, though. No,
that's a solid performance. They've been very, very strong defensively, despite that closing minute lapse that led to that first goal. But as you said, they need to cut out these unforced errors that have been allowing the Knights to get the counter-attack. And that's what the Knights are doing at the moment. They're relying more on their counter-attacking to get them set up than they are, using their breakout to do it. But the Bees, they've had quality chances. I mean, that Dom Gabai end-to-end rush that when he cut across the front of the net twice now, if he could just get a little bit of extra reach on it, he'd have been maybe able to just get it around Gospel. But, the Bees can take great solace from that.
Things for the Bees to be positive about. We'll be back with you for the second period in about 15 minutes' time. Kayla Poole.
14
There you go, Nick. Try to throw me under the bus, why don't you? We were talking about the games in South 2. Haringey 7, Oxford 7 after 2 periods, by the way. In the National League elsewhere, it is the Bristol Pitbulls 2, the Peterborough Phantoms 0, the MK Lightning 1, Hull Seahawks 1, the Swindon Wildcats 1, Sheffield Steel Dogs 2, and the Romford Raiders 4, Telford Tigers 3. Here the important score is the Berkshire Bees 0, Leeds Knights 1. Shots on goal in the first period. There were 7 on Sam Gospel in the Knights net, 17 on Max Wright in the Bees net. And the one goal catching everyone by surprise by Mac Howlett with a lovely finish off the inside of the post and in, while everyone, and I probably mean everyone at this end of the ice, was too busy looking at Noah McMullen crawling back to the bench. So we hope that he's back and okay. We will let you know when the teams come out. I've literally asked about 20 people on my way around in laps. No one saw the goal. But luckily, we have the joys of replays. So
I have to wonder, were all the Bees players looking at McMullen, waiting for the whistle to go for?
The Knights are led out by Sam Gospel. McMullen has joined us back out, so everything is fine in black and blue. Chris, the first period, despite the scoreline, the Bees will be very happy with how they've played.
Yeah, I mean, when you can go into the first period only 1 down against a roster that is this good, it's not a situation ideally any coach obviously really wants to go into the locker room with. But when you've played the way that they did in that first period, they had they had great defensive awareness. There was always a Bees player at that blue line ready to just poke check that stick and get it back out into the neutral zone. Wright had a very solid period. There was always a Bees player there ready to clear the puck whenever it rebounded off of him. But obviously, yeah, that situation at the end of the period kind of upset the apple cart a little bit, and it allowed the Knights to get that first goal of the game.
I mean, obviously, we should say a goal that the Knights have thoroughly deserved those first 20 minutes.
Oh, big time. Like I said, we were seeing quality versus quantity there. The Knights were getting lots of chances. The Bees were being very limited. Not all of them got chances that looked like they deserved to go in, but they definitely had a few that looked like they should have probably converted them. Sam Goss will really do the difference on those opportunities.
And just before the period starts, we'll give a quick shout out to what could best be described as the newest Berkshire Bees fan, Adam Maddox and his son Theo watching, who's only 26 hours old. I believe the message he sent me said he was. So congratulations to you and Hannah as the Knights win the open draw for period number 2. Howler fired cross ice to Brown. Brown fired towards goal. Fired off the backboards. Back high, not gotten under control. Bees able to break the other way. Wilstead on his own, turns around, drops off for Josh Paul. That shot blocked in front. Goodbye. Loses the puck to McMullen. Fired around the board, only as far as Nags. Nags' pass picked off by Barron. Sets Howlett away. Matt Howlett, not the man you want to be seeing one-on-one. Shot towards goal, kick save right.
Right, again with that very good shot control that he has, directing it into that corner.
Bees bring it into the zone. Goodbye again with drop passes to no one in a yellow shirt as Neely stops that one. Fired towards the side of the cage. Antonov held up by Fugalis.
It's one thing when your players are doing it. When it's the player coach, it becomes a bit of a problem.
Barron up the left-hand wall to Bissonnette. Thrown towards goal, poked towards net, and Wright able to push that aside.
Morris almost just about sneaks away from a holding penalty there. But that was a really good tip attempt in front there as well by the Knights.
Loose puck in front. Pushed into the corner. Antonov. First man able to really get under control. He gets his pocket picked by Matt Haywood, whose pass only finds the legs of Ollie Hemmings-Mayer. Beats from behind their own goal. Long stretch pass tipped into the corner by Antonov, and no icing call. That lets Hemmings-Mayer get there ahead of Dylan Hare. Coming together. Puck comes away. Antonov again, another drop pass to no one. It's a theme for everyone tonight in yellow, by the looks of it. Endicott carries it into the zone. Takes a hit from Josh Kelly. Hare finds Braden.
I mean, with these drop passes, it's obviously a tactic that's being employed, but it's a case of why is the player that they're obviously anticipating is meant to be there not there?
That is the million-dollar question at the moment. Penalty coming on the Leeds Knights. Arm up at the back.
There's a trip on Antonov as he was.
There's a couple of calls there. That's a heavy landing as well. Play back up. Max Wright finally gets the signal and skates to the bench. Delayed penalty coming, 6-on-5. The Bees was happy to kill time and try and set up. Goodbye. Finally uses his speed to get out of his own D zone. He'll skate straight at Jordan Griffin, holds him off, loses the handle on the puck. Griffin will usher him away from danger. Antonov. Back high. Finds his way over to Barnes. Morris. Spins around, passes his way over to Ethan Hare, and that penalty will be called. 23-25, time of the call. And Ethan Hare going to the box for hooking.
Oh, it's really good there with it. When you've got a, you're going up against a longer bench, it's a good idea when you've got those delayed penalty calls to just try and maintain the possession as long as you can, wear them out, make them sit on what effectively extend the power play out for as long as you can.
Bees go to man advantage for the first time tonight. They have 4 goals on the year, 16.67 success rate. The Knights on the penalty kill have given up 7 goals, 78.79 success rate. The Bees penalty goals, 1 each for Balaz, Gabai, Antonov and Morris. The Morris goal coming last Saturday against the MK Lightning. Knights push it around the boards, kept in at the blue line by Gabai. Bouncing puck, Gospel has to push it away. Wilstead didn't know where it was going. Antonov is hauled down by Hayward, and that is one of the easier calls of the year. Hayward doesn't like it.
I mean,
shakes his head at the call. That seemed fairly obvious from here. Here's the replay for you. I mean,
I don't know whether he loses his balance to be perfect.
It might be a case of timing there at the same time. Hayward puts a stick in and Antonov is losing the edge. 23-44, time of the penalty. 2 minutes of tripping, 141, a 5-on-3 for the Bees. And this has been the penalty that the Bees really haven't done well with 5-on-3 advantages this year. They've had 2 of them so far and haven't scored on either.
They really need to move it around quickly, like they did against Leeds last week. The reason they got that Morris goal was because they were moving it so quickly and so crisply.
The box already closing in. Falls to Mogg, fans on the shot. Loses the hand. Antonov gets ahead of McMullen. Swinging stick there. Good movement this time. Balaz back to Goodbye. Goodbye. Shot off the...
Almost took us out, that one.
Off the mask of Gospel. I saw it.
And is the goal horn playing?
Yeah, the goal horn is playing for some reason, but there's a call for the ring stuff. There's also the fun bit of they've put Matt Hayward's penalty on the Bees, which is
interesting.
Even more confusing.
Mid-game transfer?
I'll take it.
Unlikely mid-game transfer?
I mean, yeah, I know, but I'll take it.
I mean, obviously, I know that's not what's happened. Everything's gone a bit quiet.
They're winding the clock down by 6 seconds.
It always worries me when an ice rink goes quiet like that, because normally you associate that with something has happened.
Yes, usually, in this case, it was confusion. Right, leaves it for Mogg. 1:08 left on the hair minor. 5-on-3, Bees carry it into the zone. Balaz runs into Matt Howlett. Antonov down low. Balaz chance on the backhand wide of the net. Good work from McMullen and Barron on the back check.
And it's just unlucky that was on the wrong side for Balaz. If it had been on his right side, that would have potentially been a goal.
Mogg back across to Goodbye. Down low, Antonov tries to put the moves on. Backhand shot wide of the goal. Balaz off the backboard to Antonov. Good work from McMullen again. Finds Mogg. The first rush was a lot better player movement here from the Bees. This one, it sort of allowed the Knights to get set up. Balaz across to Mogg. Mogg tries to play for the deflection off Morris and doesn't get one that time. 20 seconds before Hare joins us back out of the box. Antonov evades a sliding McMullen. Pass back to Morris, falls for Goodbye. Goodbye, shot straight off the night on Gospel's chest. He'll hold on.
Really, the Bees' luck just working against them there. Really, they had several good opportunities and very good positioning, but fanning on shots, couldn't really get the purchase on the right positioning on the shot, or even just on the right side of the stick.
Face off to the left of Gospel.
In an extended period out here as well for this,
they've
top line unit for the Bees.
They've just kept them out there for the full 2 minutes. Mogg can't keep that one in. Hare will quickly join us out of the box in just under 5 seconds. We're back to 5-on-4 for a short spell. Chip towards Morris. Good work by Barron again as the Knights return to 4. They have too many for a second. Luckily, no puck in anywhere near. Shot on goal by Ballas, stopped by Gospel, and the Knights will break 2-on-2. Howlett across to Neely. Neely thrown on goal. Blocker save right.
Morris heads off.
And the Bees will ice it just as the man comes out the box. They don't agree with it, but it is an icing call and a very good penalty kill from the Leeds Knights. And the Bees' 5-on-3 struggles carry on.
Yeah, it wasn't. It's like night and day what I saw last weekend with that first power play goal that they got against Leeds. They just weren't moving it. Sorry, yeah, NCMK. Yeah. I'm just making all kinds of mistakes there. Yeah, like they weren't moving it in the same way they were last week, and they weren't really as accurate with what they were getting off on the net.
Braden's shot is blocked. Flipped out the zone. Neely collects. To Blazer. Across to Hayward. Hayward thrown on goal. Right kick save. Fagalis through traffic. Saved by Wright. Rebound loose. Collected by the Knights, scramble in front. Bissonette goes back to Fagalis. And that one will see a break in play. Face off to the right of Wright. How many times can you say right in a sentence? Knights come away with it. Back to Griffin. Fire through traffic. Glove saved by Wright. It's Romford Raiders 5, Telford Tigers 4 in the third period. Bristol 2, Peterborough 1 at the end of the first as well.
Oh. Having a few technical difficulties here apparently.
Penalty called there as we try and sort the technical difficulties. Producer Nick with the have you tried turning it off and on again. The Knights will head back on the man advantage as Josh Kelly heads to the box. 26:34 time of the penalty. So 26:34 time of the penalty. Josh Kelly in the box. 2 minutes for something. I didn't see the signals. We're trying to sort out things up here. And like I said, the Knights a very dangerous power play so far this year. Howlett keeps that in and evades the wayward hit from Wilstead. Back to Howlett. 2 for cross-checking for Kelly. The Knights move it around. Down low, back to Howlett. Spins away from the face-off dot. Brown. Drops it off for Howlett. Shot through traffic, pushed aside by Wright into the netting. 1:24 left on the man advantage.
Things really let themselves be drawn out of their shape there. You could see all the traffic down the front in front of Wright. That was a very good crossover move there at the top of the blue line there.
Getting distracted, everything's falling apart up here on the commentary balcony. So Howlett shot, kicked away by Wright.
Oh, sorry Nick. The good news or bad news, depending on how you look at it, is neither of our headsets are affected.
No. Unfortunately, everyone gets to still talk to us as the Knights off the shot from Braden hit the post. Lovely move into the zone. Face-off will stay inside.
Lovely, lovely little move. A lot of quick moves and quick shot.
It is now Romford Raiders 7, Telford Tigers 4. I'm going to guess there's an empty net goal or two got in there. Yeah. So the Raiders picking up the 2 points. Telford struggles continue. This is the part Veronica tells me I'm stupid as always. Knights with it. McMullen. Knights want a call on that one. Nothing doing. Shot from Hayward. That you can hear the gong off Wright's mask from way here at the other side of the rink.
Unmistakable that clack noise that you hear when it hits a mask.
I'll have a look for it. Oh no, no, there's still 5 minutes to go. It's just a case of the Raiders have scored 3 in 4 minutes.
Can you say defensive collapse?
I didn't. I'm going to be nice to Romford fans. I've got to go there next week. McMullen.
I don't. So.
It was that was Streatham. I'm safer in Romford, which is saying something.
That's all right. You know me. I'll look after you in Streatham.
Knights with it. McMullen. Cross to Neely. That shot is wide again. I think that one's gone up into the netting. 19 seconds left on the Kelly Minor. No other changes in the scores as they go in other games in period breaks. Face off won by the Knights. Back to McMullen. Down low again. McMullen. Shot through traffic wider than net. Right, able to see it the whole way that time. Blaser. Bees return to full strength. Another good penalty kill for the home team as they clear the zone. Neely there to collect the loose puck. Bats it down.
to try and convert some of this momentum now from this very, very PK moment.
Generous offside call there for Olwell on the Knights. Goodbye. Firing it back into the zone. 11:05 remaining in the second. Max Wright far busier of the two netminders. Faces on average 12 shots more than the Bees get away in a game, and it feels like it could be a lot more than that tonight. Dylan Hare over to Griffin. Carries it over the blue line, fired in, right out of his net to play it. Bees first to it. Mishandle there by Erskine. Gallagher and Erskine. Gallagher's stick somehow up the back of Erskine's shirt.
How did it get there?
That's a neat magic trick, if you can pull it off.
Magic trick if you can pull it off without the refs calling anything.
Coming together between player from each team. Offside signalled, so Knights will check up. And we will say obvious tripping calls. There's one for you. The Bees will head to the man advantage. 29:36 the time of the penalty. Trip signalled. I think it was a case of just trying to get the stick out from skate blades and maybe being a bit too aggressive with it. Two for tripping. I didn't see the number on that. I think it might be Matt Barron. Don't quote me on that. Wait and see when it goes up on the board.
But the question is, which side of the board will it go on?
It is.
On
It's
the
Finn
correct
Braden.
side.
Finn Braden. I saw a 3 as it went in the box. Severe whiplash as it went back to centre ice. Bees on the power play. Finn Braden seeing 2 for tripping. Antonov. Back high to Mog. That one bounces over a stick. Can't keep it in the zone. And that will kill some seconds off the Bees power play. McMullen off the glass. Tries to take out a linesman in the process. Goodbye. Collects a loose puck. Will go it alone. Drops it off for Antonov. Good clearance there from Barron.
Again, we're just seeing there that the bouncers are just working against the Bees. They're getting into the positions, but the puck always seems to be in just the wrong side of the stick, or it ends up between Antonov's feet like we saw there.
Bees will try and rush ahead Mog with a little chip and chase. Almost paid off as he tries to get away from McMullen. Balaz prevents the clearance as Antonov keeps it in against the wall. Balaz first to the loose puck. Fired through the paint. Antonov not expecting it, gets caught off guard. Stead back to Balaz. That comes way back to Goodbye. Goodbye through traffic. That's blocked in front by Stead. Fired off the backboard. Antonov. Squirted away by Baldwin. Goodbye. Back to Antonov. He fans on the shot. That one goes the length of the ice the other way. Foot race between Mog and Hayward. Mog beats the veteran forward. Balaz takes it away. 3-on-2 chance the other way for the Bees if they're quick with it. Shot from Rose off the leg of Griffin. Dropped off for Rossbottom. That shot from Balaz off the mask of Gospel and away. No whistles, the Knights have control.
Balaz's stick went flying as well.
Yeah, that would be Noah McMullen. Stick lifting it to the moon. Rossbottom draws Gospel way out of the net. Small misplay from the Knights. No danger of that being a goal scoring chance as the Knights return to full strength. Bouncing puck. Gospel pushes it away. Griffin very nearly goes 5-hole on his own goalie.
But that is the way, I think that's the way really the Bees are going to get one at the moment, is they really just need to get in close, get in Gospel's face and try and force some kind of a turn, some kind of an error in front of the net like that.
Morris spins away from Howlett. Puck played up the wall. Stead, there's a chance for the rush here. If that pass is on time, Hemmings-Mayer can't get under control. Bundled from behind there by Stead. The Bees bench wants a penalty. Nothing doing. Bees still with it. Hemmings-Mayer shot saved by Gospel. Bounces just wide of the post. And an arm is up.
I think Rose in reaching for trying to what would have been a high stick anyway.
Yeah, Dan Rose has been called 2 minutes for high sticking. 32-21.
Puck was up in the air over the bar. Rose tried to swat it down. I think he well, in the referee's interpretation, has made contact. I didn't.
I
think he made contact with Gospel with it. I'm not sure.
Well, I wasn't sure on that one, but obviously
nobody reacted like they've been contacted by.
And more confusion on both teams' part, but the Knights will go back on the man advantage. 7:39 to go in the second period.
Confused as they are, I think they'll take the penalty, the power play regardless.
Yep. Can they do anything with this one? Their third opportunity of the Knights. Howler from the blue line. Loses an edge, but manages to keep the puck in. Back to Brown. He winds up fires. That one's off his skate. Brown. Howler. Shot through traffic off the glove of right and into the corner. Nice. Just trying to draw him across. Chance in front. Despairing diving stop there from right.
Huge save though from
Another
right.
huge save. Add that to the montage reel at the end of the year. Bissonette. Back to Brown. Knights lose the puck, but quickly able to get it back under control. Brown keeps it in. Howlett, first a loose puck. Brown again, steps inside. That one off the stick, goodbye, and into the netting.
And
Here it is.
He's doing a really solid job here of maintaining that box shape in front of the net.
That's right. Staying low. Blocker in that one aside. .102 left on the Rose Minor. Beans win the draw. And can't quite clear away. Whistle goes. How that good work of winning the face-off. Immediately done. Killed a couple of seconds off the penalty, I suppose. Knights win the draw. Back high. McMullen. Shot from Neely. That's off the pad of right. Behind the goal. Puck not loose. Antonov able to clear. Just beats the stick of Neely. Neely up the near side wall. Gets a return pass. Blows past Vanya Antonov. Snaps the shot. Takes a hit, but that's wide of the goal. And the Bees able to clear. Blaser through centre ice. Drops off to his right hand side. Gets a return pass down low. Carries on. Behind the goal. 5 seconds left on the man advantage. Bees with the puck, and that will be another good penalty kill for the home side.
And they, luckily, I think they got away with a tripping call there behind the net.
I believe so. Antonov behind the Knights net. Short pass finds Rose as he's fresh out the box. He leaves it for Mogg. Tip from Hayward takes it through the hash marks. Down low to Rose. Back high, Mogg. Fired off the legs of Endicott. Rossbottom backhands that one into the corner.
The Knights are really working hard in that shot blocking department at the moment. Every time the Bees seem to get something up high, they always seem to have a body just there, waiting.
Mogg shot from the blue line. Rose's tip can't get it towards goal. Endicott snaps the shot on goal. That one is blocked as well. Knights caught on maybe a bad change here. 2 on 2. Bees into the zone. Will Stead runs into a black shirted wall. Finds Hemmings Mayer. Oh, sorry, Ollie Nags even. I just saw a face cage from our angle. And Ollie Nags' shot saved by Sam Gospel.
Stead makes the sacrifice. Gets sandwiched by 2 Knights defensemen. Nags collects the puck. And Gospel, brilliant tracking there. Out with the positioning. Closes it down. Makes it so that the only thing that Nags has to shoot at is basically his chest.
Ollie Nags maybe going high when he wanted to go low. Trend it in that is becoming a thing of players shooting low rather than going high as a keeper moves into position. Face-off goes all the way back into the Bees defensive zone. Kelly is there to collect. Turns and fires to Stead. Shipped ahead by Poole.
I think if you aim high, you run the risk of it flying over, you run the risk of it ending up in the goalie's net or in his chest, whereas if you aim low, you're shooting for the pads, and you're more likely to get a rebound out of that scenario. Cross-checking penalty, and it's all now getting a bit...
Well, this has come from nowhere.
Yeah.
I believe that was just a case of Stead being knocked down on the puck and then didn't really want to get up off of it. Something for nothing. 4 minutes to go in the second.
Will there be any penalties here, or will they just let it go as a case of
no, I think there are penalties. Yep. Players going in the box for either side. 35-57. Ty Cathcart is in the box for the Bees. I didn't see it was for the Knights.
Our camera panned away a bit too. I think it...
There's the initiative from Braden. Instead, obviously, trying to get up. And there we go. We'll never know.
Yeah.
Head over to NIHL National and we'll find out what that penalty was for you. And an Anakill, 2 seconds.
I would assume each get 2 minutes for roughing. Call it coincidental, I would presumably.
We are staying 5 on 5 anyway. Puck held up. Knights come away with it. Howler tries to find man in the slot that's picked off by Antonov. Kieran Brown was there. Bees the other way. Hemmings Mayer. Dispossessed by a back-checking Howler. Mogg. Puck sent to the near side wall. Barron can't get there ahead of Mogg. Innes Gallagher gets 2 minutes as well. They both get 2 for roughing as the Bees into the zone. Ballas shot wide of the post. Hemmings Mayer keeps it in the zone. Almost takes out photographer Chris. Back penalties, 2 minutes for roughing on Cathcart and Gallagher. Ballas turns, fires. Stick by Gospel up into the stands. 3:15 remaining in the second. The Bees, they're getting shots off, but I wouldn't say any of them have really been quality in these last 5 minutes.
No, well, but I mean the Knights
defense. One chance from Nags.
The Knights defense is doing a really solid job of moving them further and further out, which is allowing Gospel to make the saves, and also obviously they're firing a lot wider, as we saw with Ballas' this opportunity there on that set, like, you know, when he got in and tried to get in behind the defence, but the defence was level with him and they forced him wider and wider, and eventually that means he fires the shot wide instead of maybe tucking it between the pad and the post.
Just as we say that, Mogg fires one in from the blue line. It's held by Gospel. Face off again. Goodbye, we'll go back to Mogg. I'll have another go. This one is in the glove of Gospel this time.
It's not really enough traffic in front of Gospel though, really, to bother him with these last 2 shots that we've seen.
Hayward wins the draw this time. Neely will fire it around the boards where Blaser is waiting. Took to Bissonnette. Doesn't get into the Bees zone, does this time as Blaser carries it over. Neely gets there ahead of Morris, pins him to the boards. Chipped out the pile. Bees the other way. Will Stead. Into the zone, skates straight up for Garlis. And
I think there's a penalty coming.
It's a holding call on Fogalis here by the looks of it. Well, 2 for holding, 37-27. The Bees get a man advantage.
Coming down here, I could see Stead's jersey was being pulled.
We're going back to this. We're going back to the roughing penalties.
But yeah, Stead was kind of being shepherded out wide, but you could see his jersey being tugged from somewhere. So I'd call that a fair call.
We're just waiting for the penalty to come on the clock. So Bees back on the man advantage as the clock ran for 2 seconds there. So the Bees will only have 1 minute 58 of a power play as the clock ran with no puck drop. The Bees start at the wrong end of the ice. Bees into the zone. Ballas Back to Wheeler, Mog, nags. Oh, Antonov, sorry. Gets pushed into the corner by Howlett. Balaz down low. Antonov finds goodbye. Fired across ice to Balaz. That one's nearly up with us again as Gospel blockers it away.
And I just lived up to my Twitter handle there.
Yep, 2 for flinching. I went for the catch, you ducked.
I went into survival mode.
Spot the one of us that plays cricket all the time.
This is why I wore a face cage when I used to play.
Yeah, not when you're tweeting, though.
No.
Mog, pass to goodbye, is poked away by Barron. Back to Mog. 1:40 left in the period. That shot is blocked away by Gospels. It's high. Turned and fired away by Howlett. 90 seconds remaining in the second period. Puck up ice from Antonov, chipped ahead. Lovely chance here. That one's off the post from Gabai. Smashed his stick on the ice in frustration. Almost brilliant from the coach. Stead again. Knights a bit at 6 and 7. McMullen goes to play the hit on Stead. Brilliantly done, if not brilliantly timed. McMullen only fires it into chest of Mog. Down low Stead. Bit of space for Stead. Back high Antonov. Again, down to Balaz. 30 seconds left on the man advantage. Shot wide of the net. That one will not be kept in by Mog. Final minute, second period.
Dom Kapai must be thinking right now, what do I have to do to score in this game? Because he has come so close now, so many times so far.
Antonov, drop pass. This time it works. Rose steps inside Brown. Drops it back off. Erskine. Keeps a hold of it. This will be another power play done. Morris. Shot is somehow works out. Fired off the backboard. Knights back to full strength. 30 seconds to go. Rose, Rossbon. Can the Bees sneak one here at the end of the second? Erskine shot. That's off the very tip of the glove of Gospel and pushed wide. Shot in front. That's blocked by Rossbottom. Barron will break the other way. 15 seconds left. He'll chip it ahead. Right out of his net to play it. Pushes it to the side. Knights get a change in. Bees have a chance for one shot if they're quick and get the block. Dylan Hare stands up Adam Erskine. Matt Bissonette clears the danger. And that will do it for period number 2. And the Leeds Knights still have their 1-goal lead. The Bees with plenty of chances. That Dom Gabai chance off the post just at the end of the period there. This game's all still to play for in these final 20 minutes.
This game is all still to play for. And again, even though you're losing, if I'm Dom Gabai, I am very happy heading into that locker room right now that we are still only 1-0 down. I mean, Max must right now, but we'll be thinking right now, like, you know, guys, got to give me a little bit.
Goal support has been the big issue this year. Yeah. I think before the Telford game, they hadn't scored more than 3 in a game so far. And in 3 of those games, they'd actually kept the opposition to 3 or less. So goal support is the key thing, as you say here. Anyway, we will be back with the third and possibly final period in about 15 minutes' time. Can the Knights hold on to get the win? Can the Bees find their shooting sticks? Find out soon. Welcome back to the hangar for the third period. Elsewhere in the league, final score, Romford Raiders 7, Telford Tigers 4. It is the Swindon Wildcats 1, Sheffield Steel Dogs 3. That's in the second period. The Bristol Pitbulls 3, Peterborough Phantoms 4. And the Milton Keynes Lightning 4, Hull Seahawks 1. So everything really going as expected so far, apart from maybe Swindon Sheffield, but it's funnier that way. Here, it's the Berkshire Bees 0, Leeds Knights 1. Shots on goal in the second period. There were 13 on Sam Gospel, 14 on Max Wright. No goals and a boatload of penalties. But more importantly, everyone's still in the game. It's going to be 5-on-5 to start the period, which is something we didn't get last week, I'll tell you that much. And Chris, a game that the scoreline, everyone will see 1-0 and think this has been a bad game. It's actually been really good.
It's been a great game. I mean, you said there just about like other games elsewhere in the league going now as everyone kind of anticipated. I don't think this is how anyone would have anticipated this game going.
No, it's been a case of a very good Berkshire Bees defensive system. Something we saw last week against Lightning. It's something obviously I've seen all season so far, the influence Ashley Tate has had on building this system. And Leeds United trying to solve the puzzle of how to break it down has been a great watch so far. The Bees obviously trying to catch them on counter-attacks, on power plays, not been working so far, but the signs are good.
The signs are definitely good. I mean, if if they can work out, as we've seen with those, I mean, with those chances that just zinged by the post, just zinged past just the tip of Gospel's glove in the closing stages of that period. If they can solve getting that extra bit of just get it around a bit further, so they can maybe get the angle tighter, they might manage to get on the board. But that's the key here, is they need to be the ones to get the next goal.
They need to get the goal. They also can't afford to give anything up at the other end. This is a case of who blinks first from now on.
Well, this is the thing. As much as one of my favourite sayings in hockey is the 2-goal lead is the worst lead to have, I feel like with this Knights team, the way this game is going, if they get that 2-goal lead, they can feel quite comfortable and then go full ball to get that third one.
I'm just going to say here, I've just seen something funny that's popped up on Facebook, which will make everyone laugh, especially for Leeds Knights fans, as the D-side Dragons have beaten Sheffield Scimitars 8-2 in North 1. They've done so without Jake Witkowski, as they beat him with Jake Witkowski, and then forgot to put him on the coach on the way home. They got 15 minutes away from Ice Sheffield and left him there. So they have turned back around and got him. Go on the D-side Dragons Facebook page for that one.
D-side Dragons, like everybody else, not believing how Jake Witkowski is on that roster and somehow forgetting him.
You left your imports in the rink.
Who was responsible for doing the head count on the bus?
Yes. Or who pretended they were Jake. So, period 3, 1-goal game. It's very rare that we get to say that at the Hang most nights, especially when that game is 1-0.
And especially when that game is against the Leeds Knights.
Yes, true. Ryan Sverrak calls them in. We are underway with period number 3. The Knights win the opening puck drop. McMullen over to Griffin. Fired round the boards. And down low. Bees first to loose puck. Nags. Over to Stead. He's met by Howlett. Stead with 4 black shirts around him. Finds Goodbye.
I don't know how he managed to get out of that, really, with the puck still on the end of his stick.
Aggressive forecheck from Matt Howlett here. That one is finished off. I was going to say fairly by Kieran Brown, but he's going to get called for charging. 40-36 time of the penalty. The Bees get an early power play chance in period 3.
It does look like he takes a little bit of an extra step into it.
Charging makes sense.
The angle doesn't show it there, but the angle at which Stead went down into the boards didn't really look safe to me.
No, but Stead is up and back on the bench. So,
concerning considering he had shoulder injury last year.
Yeah, he was also a question for tonight, whether or not he would be fit to go. Bees on the power play. One of these has to count, surely, if the Bees want to get anything out of this game.
They need to do what I keep saying, it's the obvious, but need to move it at speed as Vanya Antonov tries for the backhand chance at close range. They just need to, make sure the passes are crisp, that they're moving it tape to tape. They've just got to hope as well that those lucky bounces come their way, because that's really been one of the things that's been killing them on these power plays so far in the game, is that they get the player in the position, but the player is always on the wrong side or just miscues the pass or the shot.
Don Goodbye evading a hit from Matt Barron that created 5-on-3 for a split second. Bees still with it, knocked out the zone. Mogg fired across to Antonov. Good stick from McMullen as he bats that one towards the Bees zone. Stead back on the ice. Dispossessed as he tries to cross the blue line. Knights clear. Goodbye. Over to Antonov. Evades one hit, finds Balaz, drops it off for Goodbye. Little toe drag to get some space. That shot wide again. And the Knights clear once more. And right out of his net to play it. Say out of his net, maybe about 2 foot. Forecheck from Blaser brings Mogg down. Goodbye finds Ballas. 3-on-2 the other way for the Bees. Speed not really used. Drop pass to Goodbye. Goodbye shot blocked in front. Big block. I'm not sure who that was for the Knights. Can't quite see a number. No, I can. It's Dylan Hare Big block well received by the Knights bench. They will clear. Mog can't keep it in at the blue line. Came off the skate, nearly went through Max right again.
And that's an additional 1 on the shot counter.
Knights clear again. 20 seconds left on the Brown Miner. Friendly bounce, but is carried behind the net by Morris. Up to Antonov at the blue line. Over to Erskine. Gets round McMullen. Held up against the boards though. Another power play gone to waste for the Bees. As the Knights return to full strength. Morris. Back to collect the puck.
It's interesting that didn't get called as icing when we saw a very similar one earlier in the game get called as icing.
The answer for that would be the Knights were on the penalty kill.
Yep.
The pass was cleared before the timer expired.
Anyway.
Icing that time though, as we come all the way back.
Yep. It was good to see that the thing we were picking up on from the first and the second, the issue of the drop passes definitely seemed to have improved on that particular power play.
It seems to have finally stopped. Scramble in front. Mitchell collects the puck, cleared to the blue line. Mishandled by Baldwin. Braden gets punked away by Erskine. Knights again at speed up the left-hand wall. Howlett flying through, drop pass, shot, save right, rebound collected, another big save from right. Regardless the man it fell to. The Bees break the other way, 2-on-1 chance. Goodbye with Wilstead for company. Goodbye looking for an option. Goodbye snaps it on goal! And finally, Dom Goodbye gets the twine. 43-33. The Bees tie it up with Goodbye's third of the season.
Max Wright finally gets the goal support he's been asking for, but Goodbye, this is all Goodbye, in on his own and just picks the corner. Finally, one of those shots on the angle gets past Gospel.
As I said, go low. Fired under the blocker above the pad. And the Bees tie it up with 16 minutes to go.
A big part of that goal as well has to go to Max Wright there, because if he doesn't make that initial save that gets cleared out over the blue line, that goal doesn't happen.
Bees win the draw. Very interesting final 16 minutes. Knights break up ice. Held off, shot in front from Gallagher, saved by Wright. Hemmingsmere off the boards. Antonov just kicks it into the bench. As he lost the stick. Goodbye from Mitchell and Poole is the Bees' first goal. That is Josh Poole's first point in the National League, I believe. Marcus Mitchell collects a second assist.
So last weekend is first senior level goal. This weekend is first National League assist.
Knights win the draw. Back to the blue line. Shot down low. Brilliantly brought down by Endicott. Mogg able to clear. Erskine beats Griffin to it, and Rose goes the other way. The Bees really up for this now as he finds Mogg. Mogg towards the side of the net. Kick save Gospel as Erskine crashes the net. Kept in by Nags for a second anyway. Knights able to clear. Endicott.
Again going low though.
Dylan Hare. Knights change of angle this time up the left-hand side. Erskine stops it, finds Rossbottom. He'll set Goodbye away again. Goodbye steps inside McMullen. Goodbye with another chance. That one goes high, and that one's over the bar. Rebound falls for Rossbottom. Shot saved by Gospel. I'm not sure he knew too much about it. It comes off his shoulder and over.
He's capitalising on a lot of the momentum here that one goal has given them. Really pushing the offence. I mean, again though, brilliant work by the Knights defence, moving Goodbye out, forcing him to the point where he just has to try and fire it on the net and hope that it somehow goes in the right direction, and hope that his supporting line mates are there, ready to try and smack in that rebound.
Bees win the draw. The puck bounces out of the zone. Morris fired across. Stead tips it in, blows a tyre, then gets a puck in the back for triples.
Blows a tyre and somehow sort of comes up with the puck.
Absolutely. Just as he planned it. McMullen over to Baldwin.
It was all part of his cunning plan.
Thank you, Baldrick. Bissonette up the left-hand side, drop pass again, shot, save right. That one coming in from Matt Hayward that time, straight into the glove of the Canadian.
Right, just seems really dialed in this evening.
It needs to be.
Commentator's curse then.
Yeah, you've done it now.
Yep.
There's that rebound chance, the second one from Gospel. Knights win the draw. Shot through traffic, right, well, just as Chris says that. Yeah. He kind of fans at a glove save there. Pushes it aside and away from danger. Balaz gets the puck away from Howlett and at the other end of the ice. Baldwin with a little drop pass. Howlett drops it off of Vanya Antonov at the blue line. Shot through traffic, blocked in front. Off the first man. Seemed to catch I believe it's Lewis Baldwin back there on the ankle.
It's the Knights now making these turnover mistakes, as the Knights are now going to come back the other way. Off the road.
Thrown towards goal, batted down by Mogg. Antonov clears. Hemingsmeyer probably didn't help it. Tried to help it on the way. Instead batted it down. Howlett spins away from Mogg. Over to Barron. Back high, Neely. Pinches down, shot saved by Wright again. Mogg collects the puck, throws it over to Hemingsmeyer. He goes to the bench. Antonov will just poke it away from Barron. Buy a little time to get the line change. Barron will skate straight at Morris, holds him off. Morris does well to escort him round the back of the net. Back high, chance in front, takes a tip off of Gallagher. Luckily for the Bees, it's wide. Birch first to it, helps us on its way. Fagalis can't keep it in the blue line. Knights going for a two-minute ankle. They had a case there as Rossbottom jumped off the bench.
Definitely another lucky escape there for the Bees with that one.
Morris off the boards. Knights with it. Birch with a big hit on Fagalis at the back. Welcome to Slough. As Birch collects the puck over to Rossbottom, chipped ahead. Probably would have been offside there. Birch jumping the gun, but it's given the benefit of the doubt. Blaser. Knights the other way. Thrown towards goal. Braden will collect loose puck. Circles the face-off dot. Looks for an option. Shot deflects off Kelly. Endicott first man there. Held up behind the goal. Puck finally dragged out by Kelly. Gallagher a bit loose with his stick there. Luckily no contact made.
Birch has been out there for quite a long shift at the moment.
Icing cool, 12:23 remaining in the third. He's going to stay out here as well. To make sure that the Bees get the right players out. Josh Kelly pointed out that he was actually on the ice, despite the linesman's protestations. Knights win the draw. Hayward spins and fires back down to Bissonette. Helps it along the boards to Blaser. Good work from Dan Rose there. Flips it up. That's going to be another icing. They look for a change. They're not going to get it again.
Again, Josh Kelly thinks that he's just managed to sneak it, but
nope. Back you come. Nice try.
He did manage to get off just before the whistle had gone.
A for effort, D for execution. Face off, won by the Knights. Fire through traffic, blocked by Hayward. Birch with it, gets his pocket picked by Hayward. Thrown down low. Bissonette goes back high. McMullen winds up, fires. That's blocked high up into the netting. And Josh Kelly's finally going to get to go to the bench.
Brilliant shot blocking by Dan Rose there. Obviously the intention not to send the puck skyrocketing into the netting, but blocks the shot, generates the face-off and gives them the opportunity to finally get those fresh legs on.
Face-off won by the Bees. Puck falls round to Stead, who completely misplays it off his skates. Howlett throws down low to Brown into the danger area. No one in a black shirt able to get a stick on it. Goodbye launches it up ice. That one will be icing, and the Bees just starting to panic a little bit.
This is a very dangerous cycle that the Bees are getting themselves into here right now with icing it time and time again. I appreciate, obviously, the Knights are closing the lanes. They're forcing them to just basically hoof it as far as they can away from their own net, but they really need to figure out a way, a bounce off the half boards, or an outlet pass, something other than it ending up on icing.
That shot blocked. 3 on 3 the other way. Goodbye. Trying to go himself. Slides it across. Shot wide of the goal. This time by Josh Poole. Knights the other way. Good work. Carries it into the zone by Barron. Brown. Spins away from Stead. Shot saved by Wright. He's able to stick it away from goal. Matt Barron was there already and waiting. Brown again. Poke check by Goodbye. Takes the hit from Brown as he throws it cross ice. Knights collect. Bees go for a change. Risky at that point, but they get away with it. Carried over the blue line, thrown in on net. Foot race won by Mogg. Kept in at the blue line. Mogg will get it under control. Behind the goal. Evades Braden. Sorry, Morris. I just saw a 4. Balaz over to Antonov. Antonov goes to the cross crease effort.
7 and 9 do look very similar.
Pedant. Back to Morris. Cathcart can't get on the end of it, but is able to cause a distraction enough for Hemmings May to fire a shot on goal. Saved by Gospel. Didn't look comfortable on that one. Knights the other way. End to end as we go into the final 10 minutes of this third period. Backdoor chance off the bar from Endicott. It came off the shoulder of Wright and pinged off the pipe. Antonov the other way, snaps that shot away, block it into the corner by Gospel. Bees still with it. Across to Mogg this time, shot blocked, rebound in front, big save Gospel, puck still loose, shoved under the Leeds goalie and into the corner. Referee loses sight of it, whistle goes, and big saves at both ends of the ice.
And I think everybody thought that might have been 2-1. Huge save from Gospel here. And then the Knights just collapsing into their own crease to try and stop the puck getting scrambled over the line.
That's a robbery from Sam Gospel. They don't do saves of the week on the NIHL national Twitter page, but that should be the winner.
I mean, let's face it, it would basically be everything from this game this week.
No, it would still be Swindon highlights. Face off right to Gospel, won by the Knights. Turned over, Goodbye, can't steal in ahead of Griffin. 9.5 minutes to go. What has been a very entertaining 1-1 game. You don't need tons of goals to have a fun night. Bissonette tries to find Blaise, it's behind him. Still collected, puck up in the air again and into the netting. Whistle eventually goes.
You don't need lots of goals, but it helps.
Yes, we get it. Was it 68 goals in 5 games, isn't it?
It's something ridiculous. I mean, 29-2 over two games last weekend.
South On is fun.
Defense? What defense?
Face off, won by Goodbye. Morris able to take it away from Bissonette. Launches it up the boards. Gets in for a second. Goodbye just about gets it over the blue line. Stead leaves it for Goodbye. 2 on 2 the other way. Shot back to Goodbye. Blocked initially by McMullen. 9 minutes remaining. Knights calling for a penalty. Nothing there. I think the referee's going to let this play out how it is for the last 9 minutes. Blaise turns, fires that one well over the bar, fortunately for the Bees. And that one is thrown straight into the crowd by Lewis Baldwin. Face off to the right of Wright. Knights win the draw. Shot blocked by Mogg and out the zone. Neely back to collect. Tipped ahead by Balaz. Mogg first to it, round the boards. Foot race, or bounce off the advertising hoarding. Goes the Knights' way. Howlett throws it back down low. Puck finds his way to Brown. In front to Howlett and Big save again from Wright as he plants his leg against the post. Back to the blue line it comes. Neely shot through traffic. Wright sees it late off the tip from Brown, but it's saved again. Absolute net-minding masterclass from these two tonight.
Thing is, it's having an impact on their defenses, because when you know, you can see it. Both defenses have so much confidence in their netminders' abilities right now that they're taking the risks, they're making the plays. It cannot be stated enough that, like, when you have a good net, as calls for a too many men call there.
Unfortunately, the Bees only had 4 skaters on the ice when Rossbottom jumped out, so it's not too many men call. Bees struggling to count to 5 as the puck finds its way to Howlett. Mogg, good stick check to get that into the corner. Howlett blows past Kelly, takes his stick with him, back to the blue line, shot in front, blocked by Rossbottom. He'll set Antonov away, 3-on-3. Antonov cuts inside, plays it into danger, back to Kelly. As he collects his stick, shot through traffic, Rossbottom tries to get the tip on it, comes off his leg and away from goal. Cross-ice pass picked off by Kelly once more. That one will be iced, however.
And there always seems to be that one high man in the Bees defensive forecheck that's just there, ready to sweep with the stick, disrupt it, or play it out as Kelly has done there, even though it has ended up with the icing call against him.
7:16 remaining in the third period. Knights win the draw. Morris able to get there ahead of Braden, at the other end. Ballas flips it cross ice. Erskine cheats the wrong way. Bees go for a change. Ethan Hare collects the puck over the blue line. Bundled down by Erskine. No penalty called. Bees the other way. Wilstead loses it in his skates. Has to turn away. Buys himself a second. Big hit thrown in by Hare there as well. Erskine carries over the blue line. Shot fired into the corner over the Knights' net. And falls back to Kelly. Who blinks first is the name of the game in the last 6.5 minutes. Played into the corner. Mogg will get there first as the Knights change. Stead. Thelona Kloss. No one there in yellow as it's batted down. Knights into the zone. Boycer throws it off of Ryan Thrower. And up into the netting.
So delay of game against Mr. Thrower.
To be fair, we've only just gone past 8:30 and there's 6 minutes to go. I'm going to let him off. Face off in the B zone, won by the Knights again. They've won the last few of them now. Bissonette, Boycer winds up, fires, blocked by Mitchell. Not sure how much he knew of that. It was facing the other way. It's a block nonetheless. That shot comes in, saved by Wright. Morris cleans the danger up before Boycer can get there.
Yeah, Mitchell didn't know anything about that shot. He was seemingly more focused on the man he was trying to mark.
Fagalis plays it away from Poole. Bissonette. Stretch pass over to Boycer on the left-hand wall. Shot pass attempt blocked in front. B's able to clear the zone. Hayward offside. Tipped ahead by Hayward into the corner. Morris there first. Ballas can't get there. Bees have to, the Knights have to check up, to beat the offside call as Mitchell gets all the time in the world. Leaves it for Antonov. Loses that handle. Worrying time. Knights into the zone. Good back check there from Hemmingsmayer and Ballas to stop Brown on the break. Ballas the other way. Chipped ahead. Nags. Takes it around the net. Little drop pass. Ballas swings away from one. Fires in. Nags again. Looking for a man. Here's Stuart Mogg. Firing! Stuart Mogg! Pitching in from the blue line! And the Bees take the lead, 55-04. He's 30 years old, don't you know, in his first of the season. Sorry, Stu.
Yeah. Bees on the counter-attack, and here we see it here. It's wrapped around the back of the net, and then Mogg at the point just has to fire. He aims high this time, and there's nothing Gospel can do. traffic in front of the net. Don't know if he could see it. But the Bees take the unlikeliest of leads. Joe is laughing so hard.
I may be in trouble for that one. I'm going to get a very angry Facebook message on Monday. The running joke for that, everyone, for not paying attention. Stuart Mogg's wife let me know a few weeks ago that when they see my notes, they actually really like seeing what I've actually got written down. But Stuart doesn't like the fact I list his age. So I'm making sure that if that's the one goal I get to do it on this year at home, that's the one I'm using it on.
He is 21 and 9 years.
I think you'll find this week he was age redacted on my notes.
He's the Ron Swanson of British hockey.
Mogg from Nags and Balaz is the Bees' second goal of the night. 4:40 to go. Knights the other way. Can the Bees' defence hold on for 270 seconds? Not at the moment, it can't. Shot saved right as he swallows that one up.
Gallagher there as he went down shaking his head, probably thinking, what do we have to do? I also think there maybe he's got a case for a call there, I think,
yes,
as well. But again, like even there, like on that in that case, Max Wright, there's an open lane in front of him. He can see the shot coming, able to position himself and make the save.
Knights with the draw. Bissonette trying to get a correct bit of space away from Stead. Knocked into the corner. Barron. Hayward with it. Mogg poke check away. Barron met by Goodbye. Bissonette with a wraparound attempt. Right foot planted on the post. Nags can't clear the zone. Barron collects again. Space to work. Drops off. Save from right again off the blocker. Knights keep it in the zone once more. Neely. Shot from the blue line, blocked by Stead. Nags gets caught unaware. Barron gets it back. Nags hands on that clearance again as well. Neely, shot, save right. Bissonette pushes it along to Barron again. Neely winds up, drops off for Barron. Bissonette, shot bounces off the skate of right into the danger zone. Nags able to clear it. Tipped over the goal that time. Hayward. This is like an extended power play for the Knights. Hayward shot through traffic, tip from Bissonette, save from right. Puck still loose, Rowan another save and the puck loose again. Nags helps it on its way. Neely back down to Bissonette, under 3 minutes to go. Hayward wheeling into the zone. That one's off the post. Knights again through traffic, right, sees it the whole way. And an exhausted Bees line goes to the bench, 2:43 remaining.
An exhausted line heads to the bench for a well-earned break, but the Knights, really, I think they're shooting too quickly here. I think they need to try and lead themselves some time, get set up. They need to build up traffic in front of Wright, because right now he is seeing everything.
Like a beach ball. Knights win the draw. Waser down low. Brown off the skate of Morris. Ballas takes it away from Morris. Tries to clear it. Kept in at the blue line. Good work from Hemmingsmere and Antonov to prevent that break-in. Antonov plays it into the corner. 2:22 remaining. Griffin round the boards.
Again, it's the high men on the forecheck there, forcing that turnover, getting it clear. Antonov just skating it out, just finding a way to get it clear and not looking for a shot opportunity there.
Antonov will chip it on goal. Final 2 minutes of the third period. Gospel has to play it. Only finds Balaz, tries to hold it in the corner. Bracer, round it goes. Here come the Knights. Howlett will try and blow past Mogg, spins back. Gospel looking towards the bench for a signal. Back to the blue line, Neely. Shot blocked by Gabai. All 5 Bs pinching in now. Puck chipped ahead by Mogg. Stead tries to spin away from Neely and can't find Paul off the back check from McMullen. Gospel still at the top of the paint, 120 remaining. Barron chipped ahead only to Wally Nags, who returns it straight back to Matt Haywood.
And then runs into
the linesman. Gospel to the bench. Here we go. 105. Nags can't clear it past Neely. Brown back high. Down low to Brown. If anyone can do it, it's him. Barron looks for an option. Back to the blue line. Neely taking their time, as Chris says. Shot blocked by Josh Pull. Foot race to it. Kept it at the blue line. Offside called. Bissonette touches it up. That's going to go the whole way with 42 seconds remaining. Gospel comes back out.
That leaves it with the Knights all to do here.
I thought there would have been a timeout called there.
I would call my time. I think they are. Gospel, yes, they are. They're calling their timeout.
Timeout, Leeds Knights. 42 seconds. Puck at the wrong end of the ice. If any team could, Chris, it's this one.
It's definitely the Knights that can do it. But I mean, at the moment, the self-belief that the Bees must have in themselves. I think they can do it as well. But right now, that touch-up has basically left the Knights with all the work to do now in these final seconds, 40 seconds or so of the game, because the puck is all the way at the other end of the ice, not where they needed it to be. It also is a case of Gospel will have to go back out there. They're going to have to work it into a situation where they can pull him again.
So, face-off left of Gospel. Here we go. Knights win the draw. That's part one done. No time to waste. Gospel immediately sprinting to the bench. Little drop pass off. Knights in again. Snaps the shot. Blocker save right. Balaz gloves it down. Under pressure from Brown. Held up down low against the boards. 3-on-1. Ballas still holding on. 21 seconds to go. Puck cleared. Knights with it. Here's the chance. Wound up. Fired over the bar. Ballas takes it away. Spins. Flips it clear. That's going to bounce high. Caught by Barron. 8 seconds. Oda Brown. The Knights aren't going to get in the zone. Morris just tries to clear it from his knees. And the Berkshire Bees take down the league champs for the first time since 2021.
That was one of the best advertisements I think I could ever say I've seen for British ice hockey. Incredible end-to-end game, incredible goaltending duel.
That is one of the best games of hockey you're going to see all year.
I had a choice today. Either come here and work with you,
or go to Cardiff
and watch Stratton. I'm glad I chose here.
People will obviously mock the reaction from the Bees fans that you can see in the rink. But people have to remember the Leeds Knights have been the gold standard for the last two and a half years. And that is the first time they've taken them down in the Ryan Aldridge era.
They've been the Superman team of the entire league for the last few seasons. You know, the only team that really seemed to be able to keep pace with them on a regular basis was the MK Lightning. And for the Bees, who have had a very, very, have not had a good start to this season, to take them down 2-1 in this fashion, in what was a goaltending duel.
Yes.
Because a lot of questions have been asked about Max Wright. Is he of good enough solid quality for this division? And
I think you got your answer tonight, everyone.
I mean, one game does not equal a season, I will point out.
We will wait for the official shots on goal,
yeah.
But he was at 30 saves through 2 periods and made some big ones there in the third.
But the thing as well, as I said earlier tonight about goaltenders, is when the goaltender and the defence work well together, you get performances like that. Because it wasn't just about Max tonight. He made so many amazing key saves at the biggest of times. Same for Sam Gospel at the other end. But if it wasn't for the Bees defence always being in that exact right position to deliver the poke checks on the forecheck, if they weren't there around the crease area ready to clear any errant puck that came off of a rebound, it's a different story tonight. And the same has to be said for the Knights defence at the other end as well.
No,
they've been shot blocking left, right and centre all evening.
It's a truly fantastic game of hockey. And like I said, goals don't necessarily mean everything. Obviously, they do on a scoreboard, but in terms of entertainment tonight, I think you'll struggle to see a better game this year.
I mean, when you have to edit a highlight pack as well, like producer Nick is going to have to, goals make it a lot easier.
You'll love it this week. Man of the match tonight, presented by, I suppose we can call him Bees legend, Sean Thompson. Don't want to give him too big a head. Man of the match for the Leeds Knights, we've said it enough, a goaltending masterclass. Sam Gospel, 28 saves on 30 shots, and that absolute robbery in that third period.
Yeah, he's been big in that net all evening. And at an absolute robbery on that save. Underlined why we were saying what we were saying about him at the start of the night.
Well, we were told Sean Thompson's presenting man of the match. He's gotten very small.
Yes, that's very Sean
As the Leeds Knights go for their lap of honour. Knights fans, thank you for joining us on the stream tonight. And also the ones in the rink too. You're back here on Saturday the 7th of December if you want to join us on the stream or here in the rink. That of course will be a 6:30 face-off. 5:45 the stream goes live for warm-up here if you can't make the trip. Hopefully at some point this year I'll actually get to make the trip up to Leeds. It's the only rink in the National League I haven't been to now. Apart from Solway, but I'm doing that one.
Taking that one off in a few weeks' time.
A few months for me.
Oh, okay.
We'll have shirt off the back. Actually, so Max Wright with the shirt off the back. That's going to be very sweaty. Goalie jerseys are usually minging. And I can say this, I've won a couple of them. They are grim.
I can't speak to this. I've never worn a shirt off the player's back.
You just buy them with your London money.
No, I sponsor them. / inherit them from people who did hobbies. Hence how I've ended up with a Malik Martelli game win.
So, man of the match for the Berkshire Bees. Obviously, you could do the cliche thing, you get to the whole team for a massive win like this. There are a few standout performers.
Yeah. I mean
besides
who we've chosen?
Yes. Stuart Mogg for obvious reasons. Yep. And I have to be nice to him because he's going to kill me now. I mean, man of the match for the Bees. We're going to wait for the official number.
Yeah.
48 saves. 48 for the whole game. Max Wright, man of the match.
As I said, he's answered a lot of the questions and a lot of the doubters tonight.
A big performance, some big saves. And like London buses, wins come along two at a time.
One on the road, one at home.
Absolutely. So, the usual man of the match things. Max Wright, first time he gets to do that here this year. Once he gets all of his gear off. Has to sign the cap, launch it into the crowd. To a Bees crowd. Oh, Max! Right, take it away.
To be fair, if that's the one thing he's missed all evening.
No, take the man of the match away, we can't be having that. As the Bees go for their lap of honour, they go on the road tomorrow to Sheffield to play the Steel Dogs, the newly Well, newly under new general management, new head coach, new players, new everything for the Steel Dogs.
New colour scheme.
New colour scheme. They're up to Yorkshire on Sunday, which is obviously after you've seen the highlights from here. The Bees next are at home next Sunday. Oh, next Saturday, sorry, even. I'll get that right. When we welcome the Solway Sharks to town. Chris is back for one more go-round. We welcome our friends from Scotland as they make the long trip down from Dumfries. 6:30 face-off here in the rink if you can make it. 5:45 on the stream if you can't. Chris, thank you for joining me. Have you had a fun night again?
I've had a fun night. It's always a fun night doing comms with you, mate.
Nick, have you had a fun night? Yeah,
Thumbs up.
thumbs up from Nick. Have you got your button ready for this? You have. Oh goody! So for the first time for this year, Nick gets to dust it off. Punch it, Chewy. See you next.